For those of you who don't know me, I've been with the naturopathic profession for 30 years. I am not a naturopathic doctor. My passion is the business side of it. How I got involved in this particular profession is I had the opportunity to study from a very, very smart gentleman. I went to university for logistical administration, accounting, economics, psychology, broadcast journalism, and I learned linear concepts. His passion and what he helped me do is understand more intuitive and lateral. So I had the opportunity to train with him for 3 years, and he could speak 7 languages. He loved to just learn languages for the sake of knowing languages, and he had himself 5 different university degrees. In 1987, he had a friend of his life. His name was Dr. Anton Ingard. He was a naturopath, licensed naturopath chiropractor, and my mentor got sick. I was sitting in the hospital with him on the 18th of September 1987. We were chatting, and his friend comes in, and he said to his friend, "You were right, I worked on my mind and not my body." At 7 a.m. that morning, my mentor passed away. He was 52 years old, and he was my dad. Oh. And from that point, I dedicated my life to people who invest in helping people improve their health. In other words, helping people live longer. And of course, as my father's best friend was a naturopath, it allowed me to migrate to that. And then I had the opportunity, I don't know if any of you know Patricia Wales. She actually introduced me to the profession, got me into the schools, and for the last 30 years, I have been the greatest outside champion of what I believe is one of the most dynamic professions on the planet. What is even more exciting is that in 2014, the greatest paradigm shift in health consciousness occurred. Do any of you know that it actually happened? That we're actually in an era where we could say there's no better time in what we offer than now. A massive paradigm shift is well on its way, and those of us who position entrepreneurially, because Heroes is an entrepreneurship program, not a practice management program. The biggest thing about Heroes, it's an acronym that stands for helping everyone realize opportunities. It's not theoretical. The information that's provided within Heroes, it's what's being coached to people throughout Canada and the United States. I have the honor of working with some of the most successful clinics, both new and positioned in Canada and the United States. I have doctors from Yellowknife to Vancouver, down to LA, California, across to Florida, up through Maine, and places in between. And all of them are doing exactly what I'm trying to get students to do proactively. There's 2 ways you're going to learn every single lesson that's on the PowerPoint. You're either going to learn it proactively, pre-graduation, or reactively, post-graduation. The average education in post-graduation Business 101, I will tell you, you can ask any health provider out there, they will say it's a minimum $50,000 to $60,000 plus in the first 3 to 4 years. Well, because you learn and adjust as you go along. But if you do what I'm asking to do, because my passion is proactive, it's to get the business side before you graduate, the difference will be insurmountable. I've had more initial successes with new grads, new doctors, because I will tell you, the first year out, ask anybody, it's what we call the hell year. And it's a hell year because we're trying to introduce ourselves, and we are actually competing against people who've been in practice from 2 years to 40 years. And we're trying to say to someone, choose me. It is a game. Business is a game. And the reality is that 98% of the people who graduate, probably 99% who graduate, are going to be self-employed. not an employee. There are not a lot of jobs out there that are available for new grads. There are a lot of opportunities in clinics or on your own or with somebody else for those of you who are entrepreneurial. Too often I've heard in the past people talking about the negative aspects of the profession. I believe in the positive aspects, but certain statements that I share, for example, one, I don't believe naturopathy is marketable. The reason why I say that is nobody knows what we do. And the reason is whenever we try to explain it, it doesn't come across too well. Would any of you like to describe what naturopathy is? Can you describe it? If you're standing in front of people and you have 12 seconds to inform everybody on what you do, can you do it in a way that it can be very clear?
It's not an easy task.
The challenge is that we have something that not too many people understand. And our messages, for the most part, come across interpretive, meaning people make up their own decisions because our way of communicating isn't very clear. I believe this, and I strongly will state that any economist who explores the different health professions can state that the only health profession with unlimited potential is what you have. Because we can shift in any market. We can position for the serious health issues, but also for the cosmetic. Anti-aging is a huge, huge population want. We can go and make people's wrinkles look better. But we can also deal with very serious chronic health issues. We can shift with any trend. We can shift with any opportunity that a trend dictates. Find me any other health profession that can do it that easily. You have, as naturopaths, the greatest opportunity that I've seen in 30 years, because what happened in 2014, and it was driven by the X and Y generation, in other words, the younger folks, are more interested in holistic healthcare. And it doesn't matter who is providing it, they're searching all health modalities looking for a more holistic approach. Your designation is what you get a degree in. But here's my press, especially this year coming out. It's about outcome-based medicine with evidence-based therapies. The first primary rule of any business is to know your market inside and out. Understand your market want. As I said, a lot of students live in bubbles. It's the bubbles of your education. You need to be paying attention what's happening around you, because when you graduate, you come to our world. And if you do not understand what the want is, not the need, if you do not understand what the want is, how are you going to position yourself to excel? You need to feed the want and grow the need. You need to develop what you call services. I umbrella under the word called deliverables. You need to be able to map out your deliverables for qualitative, quantitative, measurable results. You need to understand that if you can't motivate, empower, and inspire an individual, they will not follow your advice. You can't do anything for anyone that is not willing to do what you're asking them to do. And that does not come from the science of your education. That comes from the humanistic part of your education. It's all about balancing humanity and logistics. It's all about systems with human beings. The way to optimize your relationship is to be able to do three critical factors. Number one is to be able to produce results. You should have a rule: no one walks out of your office without seeing how their health is improved. That should be the primary rule of any physician. No one walks out of my office unless they know how they've gotten better. You call every single client a patient. I call them a marketing agent. And there is no greater power than word of mouth marketing. Even with all the technology and all the emphasis on technology, it's still a human-to-human relationship. And it's how you access the heart of those humans that will define your success. So outcome-based medicine, focused on results. Number 2 is a dynamic personality. As I stated, your role is to motivate, empower, and inspire. And number 3 is a positive client experience in the entire process of the interaction between you, the staff, the location. Those 3 things you need to master. And you support it with efficiency in the 7 most critical systems. Please remember, all the courses in all the schools do well with basics, but they miss certain key points. And one of the key points is understanding there are 7 critical systems that you have to optimize, whether you're an associate in somebody else's clinic or whether you have your own clinic. There's a new patient system, return patient system, checkup system, inventory system, scheduling system, beginning end of day system, and billing system. Each one needs to be optimized efficiently. I go into clinics all through Canada and the United States, and what do you think I spend most of my time doing? Is cleaning the inefficiency so that they can better service their clients, but also logistically better service themselves. The client positive experience in the 6 stages. It's again, I work with patients and doctors who've been in practice for 30 years, and I say, can you tell me the 6 stages of flow? They go, what is that? There are 6 stages to an overall positive flow in a clinic. First contact, coming to, sitting, treatment, leaving at home. We have to address every single one of them. Do you know that there's 16 different marketing tools in 4 different broad areas? The brand builders, the communicators, the educators, the marketers, and all of it links to the website. There are 3 marketing strategies: micro, macro, and star power. When you first graduate, it's more focused on star power than macro, which is generalized education. Micro is about a very specific strategy, knowing where you are, and start drawing 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, and 1 hour circles. It's within that hour. I've had more graduates succeed last year because they undertook of the most important assignment in the micro area. Go out and meet human beings. I encourage every new grad to meet 10 new people every single month for the first year. That's 120 new people. That's how you're going to introduce yourself. And when you create your 6-pack marketing tools, you have the necessary tools. When you meet someone, they will remember you. You have to also understand that in business, it's all about numbers. I know you didn't become naturopaths to be entrepreneurs. I got it. The reality, you're going to have to graduate with those skills. I know that some of you or many people in the profession don't like managing finances. Well, you have to have the financial communicator. From managing your personal finances to managing the business financing and knowing all the different rules is critical for your long-term success. The average debt in Canada is between 100 to 200. The average debt in the States is between 150 to 300. You're not going to pay that back with a free-range chicken or with eggs. You're going to have to pay it back with currency. You have to be comfortable with money. Money is part of our society's equation, and it has to be part of yours. If you have any desire for a lifestyle, you're going to find it always equal economics. So managing your financial communicator, managing your books, gathering statistics. There are 8 different areas in administration that we look at what you have to create to pay attention to make the changes in the other areas. Success comes with a cast of thousands. You need an internal and external team. You may be part of somebody else's team. They may be part of your team. But you also need a bank manager. You need a business coach, of course. You need associations. You need accountants. You need a team. The most successful clinics in both Canada and the United States work with a group of experts who help support them. And probably the most important key acquisition or addition to any clinic is the queen bee. What we often call the office manager, I don't like that word, I like the queen bee. They run everything. One of my greatest passion with most of the clinics is I know that the doctors don't like the business side. And one of the things they love to hear from me is that you're fired. Donald Trump may own the right to that word, but I do use it. Every owner, as health provider, does not necessarily like all aspects of business. So the whole key is to get the queen bee to run them. I'm working with queen bees throughout Canada and the United States, helping them and training them so that they can help the primary doctor do what they love to do, which is help patients. And finally, number 9 and 10, you need to strategize with plans. There are end game plans. Nearly what we have to do is by April of your graduation year, all the homework, all the systems, all the marketing material, all the administrative tools are all set up. And then you can go play what we call the end game. The end game takes us from April up until you get your license. That's when we start going live. We let people know that coming the fall we're coming. The most important rule is that there is a calendar year for naturopathic medicine, and it doesn't run from January till December. It runs from September to August 31st. It actually breaks into 4 quadrants. September 15th to December 15th. Quadrant number 2, December 15th from January 15th. Quadrant number 3, January 15th to June 15th. And quadrant number 4, June 15th to September 15th. The worst time to work on a contract or get into a sign a contract is in May. June, July, August, September, the season starts in October. When we do not prepare for the next cycle, and our biggest cycles and months are October, November, February, March, April, May, the rest are moderate to slow. Negotiating contracts, I will say our greatest weakness is finances. Negotiating contracts, I would say, is our cancer. I've had the opportunity to participate now in 243 contract discussions with people. Out of that, I will tell you there's maybe about 15 that I would deem as win-win. It's incredibly emotional, but we're not looking at it from a business perspective. We're often looking at it from the associate, from their eyes, and from the primary, their eyes. Contracts is definitely one that we cover in leadership that you have to understand, and it is incredibly intense time, and that's usually before you actually start seeing a patient. You have to negotiate a relationship, be it employment or be it as an independent associate. All of this leads down to number 10, which is not the end but the beginning, your desire to help a lot of people. How do you grow a profession? Success. How do you help a lot of people? See a lot of people. You want to change the whole paradigm of health consciousness even faster? Have a successful practice. Be a successful doctor. Successful people help more people. Heroes challenges the business side of your profession. Heroes provides realistic, applicable information, tools, tips, and concepts that are being provided to health professionals throughout Canada and the United States. With the homework that you create as participating in the Heroes workshops, and you do the homework, because it only sounds good if you got to get the work done, you can actually open up a clinic anywhere on the planet. Some of the most successful clinics in our profession are incorporating and optimizing the different tools. Please understand, this is conceptual. You have to do all the work. I don't have time to do the work. You have no choice but to do the work. Make the time. Even in clinics I work with, they have to allocate 2 to 3 hours a week working on the business side. What's amazing, you'll spend 70 to 80 hours working on educational for medical, and you can't find the time to spend an hour to two per week that will make it all come together. You're all great doctors. You all will become great doctors. But that won't define how long you are in business, and it won't define how many people you will help. The way you do it is by providing deliverables that meet the market want, being a motivated, inspired, and empowering health provider, be efficient in your systems, optimize positive experience with flow, communicate in very simple, clear focus, result language, monitor your finances, adjusting ongoing, set up a great team, use ongoing strategies with checklists and benchmarks, and help lots and lots of people. It's all right here in the 1 to 10. That's what Heroes will guide you in the most realistic approach to that I would challenge it against anybody in the country. The emphasis for me, my passion is proactive. Proactive is helping people before they get into the game. You have to decide whether that is what you want to do or not. And the investment, which you can deduct after graduation as one of your startup costs, can definitely make a difference. Because you're getting stuff that everybody is actually really doing. It's not theoretical. And it's provided by someone whose passion is on the profession, but more importantly, who understands the business side of the profession. With 30 years, I think I know a little bit.